All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have pretty surprising Chicago Bulls news. So actually, these news aren't surprising. The Chicago Bulls have made it known to teams around the league inquiring that Thaddeus Young is not available. Pretty much untouchable. I mean, it makes sense. I was talked about him in a video a couple of days ago. If you want to go watch that, we declined 2 trades from the Pacers. One of them was for Thaddeus Young. He's shooting great. He's like averaging really solid numbers, especially coming off the bench. He's shooting like 61% from the field. It's just a good, solid veteran. But here's the pretty interesting news because it doesn't really make too much sense to me considering Otto has done absolutely very little to nothing as a Chicago Bull, but somehow there is league interest. Several teams reportedly interested in Otto Porter Jr., and it doesn't make much sense because he hasn't really played, first off, in the last 2 years. He hasn't really played much, if at all, this season, and he's on an expiring contract, and the team that has been linked in rumors the most with Otto especially makes no sense because it's the Golden State Warriors, and that really just makes absolutely no sense. So on this season, Otto's averaging 11.6 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He's barely played. He's averaging like 23 minutes a night. He's not even starting for the Bulls anymore. There's been some rumors that he's not very thrilled about the situation going on in Chicago as far as his playing time goes, and it makes some sense because he's got a 19-year-old fourth pick in the draft playing right ahead of him who's never played in the NBA. But I mean, Patrick Williams, I would so much rather be having starting. Otto, the problem with Otto is he's a really good 3-and-D player, but he just is never healthy. And pretty much in his time with Chicago, in his brief stint since we got him, he's literally just barely played, and you can't really be useful if you're barely ever playing and if it's just super inconsistent. So I'm all for either A, buying out Otto Porter if he's truly unhappy with his role and he doesn't want to be coming off the bench, getting 20 whatever minutes a night, because I think Otto really could help out the Bulls in the playoffs. I don't expect the Bulls to be sellers one bit, despite rumors a couple of weeks ago. I think they like the lineup. I would say, if anything, probably they would be buyers to try and get Zach LaVine a little bit more help. But as of right now, Otto Porter Jr., somehow linked with other teams, somehow linked with the Golden State Warriors. So if you could get value out of Otto, I think you might as well do it, especially considering if they might be buying him out. But I think all 3 cases sound pretty tolerable because if Otto stays with us, hopefully he can get healthy. And if he can get healthy, he'll definitely be useful for us come playoff time. But, I mean, yeah, man, he just barely has played for us. And like I said, I don't believe the rumors that we're going to be sellers. So I don't really anticipate many, if any. Yeah, actually, I really don't anticipate any moves being made by them this season, the Bulls this season. They might make a trade, like I said, to help get Zach LaVine, somebody else, but I don't think it's quite time for that. I know the Laurie and the Wendell situation are possibly coming to an end here, and I know a lot of Bulls fans are liking the idea of potentially trading for Andre Drummond. I think that's a good situation as well. I've made a couple of videos if you want to go check that out. But that was pretty much it for today. Somehow teams around the league are interested in Otto.